Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, think you want invited, bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clock it. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn it back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everybody, welcome to the hood table one more again. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Welcome to the chat, welcome to the live. Make sure you all show us some love. On your way in, make sure you click the link, click the like button. Also share out the video if you can. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the hood table. And on that note, we have a special guest in the house tonight. Hey, Deanna. Hello to my moderators and chat. Hey, Miss Hogg. I hope you ladies are doing well today. Hey, Candace. Oh, everybody, all my moderators in the house. They done came on in. All right, y'all. Everybody, again, like and share the video. The chat, the moderators are going to remind you throughout the live to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, we have a special guest tonight. As you can see, the title of the video. We're doing an interview on a sensitive topic here, so I hope everybody in the chat be very respectful, as I will as well. We're interviewing somebody who's a former pastor's wife, and she's going to share her story with us about her being married to a pastor and dealing with his infidelity and his mistress and much more. So y'all want to share this video and make sure y'all like the video as well. Now, please introduce yourself, my special guest.
Hey, my name is Sislo. Well, I'm known as Sislo's Newsworthy Update. I don't know my own name.
Well, her Miss Sislo, thank you for joining us. As she just said, she's Miss Sislo Update. She has a YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do after the show is over, I'm going to make sure I put her link in the description box, and I'm going to pin it to the top of the comments after the video so you guys can check out her YouTube channel, because she is an awesome YouTuber. I've been knowing her for a long time, but I didn't know a whole lot about her. I do now. And so we're going to get to talk to Miss Sislo tonight about something that goes on a lot in the churches, and what that is pastors and infidelity. And again, this is a sensitive subject, so please, everybody, be respectful in the chat. Okay? All right, Miss Sislo.
Well, actually, it's so ironic that we had no idea that this was coming up. Excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Make sure you like and share the video, you guys.
I'm sorry. As soon as we left, my grandson woke up from his slumber.
Oh.
And he wakes up hungry every time.
That's okay.
So, but it was so funny because even though we were planning to talk about this subject, something happened on another platform, and it was something almost similar to what we're talking about tonight. So yes, it is a sensitive subject. It is something that that's going on. But it's one of those hush kind of things that, you know, it's taboo.
Right.
I mean, it's so much to say. I'm writing a book. I've written other books, but I haven't published any of my writings. Most of the things I did to journal or to keep it to myself, just for my own um, mental stability
Uh-huh.
is to journal and to write. But I decided that this one would be the one that I would write and I would publish.
Okay. Okay.
So I decided, I'm sorry, I decided that I was going to publish it. And the name of this book that I'm publishing is called The Last Shall Be First Lady.
Hold up. What was that? Hold up. The last
The
shall be.
Last Shall Be First Lady.
Ooh.
So we've heard of the
Title.
scripture that says, and the first shall be last, last shall be first, or what have you.
Mhm.
So I decided to entitle the book "The Last Shall Be First Lady" because um, there's so much truth to that statement.
Right.
It's like whenever a pastor is married, the last person that is actually considered um, in the church is more likely the first lady.
Mhm.
Um, you think about it, most of the pastors' anniversaries, the church celebrations, or anything like that, everybody celebrates the
Right.
pastor's birthdays, the pastor's church anniversary, his actual anniversary when he became in ministry, when he founded the church, when he bought his first Bible, everything
Mhm.
pretty much. The pastor celebrated, but not often do you see his wife recognized, least and alone celebrated. Now
Mhm.
I don't say that because I look at it in any from a jealousy perspective,
Right.
but I say it because it's only right for her to at least be acknowledged and to be respected.
Yeah.
Then I began to learn that um, charity begins at home and then spreads abroad.
Mhm.
So, in order for you to gain respect from the church, you have to first be respected from your husband. You have to be respected at home.
True. Mhm.
So, um, my ex and I met when I was about 23 years old, and I met him. He was the best friend of a best friend,
Okay.
and at the time I was doing hair full time, and my friend at the time, her boyfriend came with him, and they came up to the shop to visit her, and that's how we met. And it kind of went kind of quick. Here's this church guy, and that's all I did was church.
Mhm.
This church guy, he was a musician. He could, I didn't even know how well he could sing because I hadn't at that point, I hadn't really heard him. But the thing that felt like a prayer had been answered was, oh wow, here's somebody who thinks like me, that church loves the Lord and
Mhm.
this and that. And at the time I had my oldest daughter, but I was, living on my own and working full time in salon. I was doing pretty well for myself. And but when I met this guy, I'm thinking, oh my God, well, here it is. I could possibly, this could be the one. And a lot of times, ladies, when you meet somebody and you think it's the one, you you don't think about your next date. You think about going down the aisle and what color you gonna wear and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Who
Because
gonna be your
especially when you are in church, because that's what they groom you for.
friend?
So we courted for a little while, and then next thing you know, we ended up living together, and some time had passed or whatever, and about a year or so later, uh, I got pregnant with my second daughter.
Okay.
Um, at that time, I was trying my best to live a holy life, or what I thought was a holy life,
So
but I was young.
y'all did y'all get married
I
or
was,
you
yeah, I was young. That's what I was leading up to. I was young, so
Mhm.
um, I didn't want to bring another baby into this world
Right.
out of wedlock.
Right.
So once I found out a few months after, I found out that I was pregnant. I didn't, and I stated, well, okay, hey, I can't do this again.
For real.
Well, that's when I found out that he couldn't get married right away because he was already married.
What? Shut up. Hold up. He was already married.
He was already married, honey, and
And where was she at?
she had left and went back to Peoria, Illinois. So, um, and that's not the gist of it. The gist of it was, again, now, guys, you know, I was very young, and yeah, I was very very young, and I had always been taught, no man wanted a ready made family. You'll never get a man. You'll never this and that, and we won't talk about where it came from, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am. I'm all in for this guy. I'm thinking this is the one, and then I find out that this guy was already married, and in fact, not only was he already married, but he was married to his second wife at the time.
Hold
Now
up.
we were like,
Let
I
me
want
tell
to say like 21, 22 years old, and this guy already had a second wife or what have you, and a child. And the plot
you.
thickens because not only did he have a child, but he had another child on the way.
Oh wow.
Not by one, but
Wow.
by both of his ex-wife, presumably. Yeah. So now here it is, three of us.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
girl. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
wait.
yeah. You
Okay.
talking about?
Okay.
So yeah, you want to talk about ignorant getting ignoranter? Yeah, if that's not a word, but we just made it one. So yeah, I was definitely being led by
Deanna said
a
run.
heart of ignorance as opposed to the wisdom that I've acquired over the years, obviously. But at any rate, yeah, and he held that for me. Now he wasn't married. I mean, he was married, but he wasn't. They weren't together, and they had been married maybe every bit of maybe 3 months, and they were separated, and they were not
Was he already a
living.
preacher?
Pardon me.
You got a question in the chat. Was he already a preacher at that time?
No, 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 no. He was just a musician at this
Okay.
time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, needless to say, they weren't going to be married. They weren't going to stay married. She had already made her mind up about that. So it was really her wanting the divorce just as much as him. So they did get a divorce. It was a very quick one. They had no children at the time because she was still pregnant with his son. So it made the divorce go rather quickly. And because in my mind, I'm still thinking with a wounded heart, I don't want to bring another baby and have 16 baby daddies kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, after the divorce was final with that, we ended up eloping. We went ahead and eloped. And so when my daughter was born, she was born and she had his last name and
Okay.
everything like that. And so, needless to say, it didn't get better. It was like one of those things where um, he was very egotistical. He was very narcissistic. Um, very, very argumentative. But we're talking about a person that will take as much time as it took to manipulate you. I mean, he can make you believe that blue was black and that you were a fool for thinking that that blue was blue. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I know.
And he would take his time. And I mean, there were times I was starving for sleep, and um, I was totally exhausted, and so I would find myself agreeing with things just um
Peace.
for peace sake, exactly. And so, my family members obviously saw what I did not want to accept, because at that point it was more, in my mind, um, I had already been defeated, because not only did I have one child out of wedlock, and her father, that was a whole mess, but her father wasn't in her life. But
Mhm.
now I had another marriage, that a marriage actually that I was in, and I was groomed to fight for your marriage. You are a saved woman, a Christian woman, prays
Mhm.
fervently. You anoint your head with oil. You look as dry and poor and holy as you can look, and
Yep.
you do whatever you had to do to make your marriage work. What you did, what you had to do to work it out. There was no divorce thing and anything like that. So
Somebody said, how much older was your husband? You were 20,
we were the same age. We were the exact. As a matter of fact, I was about a month older than him. But yeah,
and I
we
was
we were the
23.
same. Yeah, we were like 22, 23,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah. So but I was like, at that point, I was like, I don't know. I was head over heels. I was, really in it to win it with this guy. And so, after we got married, and right after my baby, as a matter of fact, my baby was, I believe she was like 2 weeks old. He preached this initial sermon.
Okay.
Um, uh, we had gotten married, um, in March of that year. She was born in October, so he preached his initial sermon in October. And for me, that was I thought was a sigh of relief, because at that point I'm thinking, okay, now everything's gonna get better, because
Because
when you receive, a calling of God, and you're a preacher, and you got to be right. You gotta do this thing the right way, or you feared God, or God will take care of you or whatever. But the manipulation actually became worse. It intensified, because now the people that he was around, now he was raised Koji,
uh-huh.
but now he's in a primitive or missionary Baptist church, and it was much different from Kojic, or where I was out of apostolic.
Okay.
So it was like, and me, holiness is holiness, and Kojic was the same, but the this particular Baptist, because some Baptists, all of them are not the same, but this
Right.
particular Baptist church was like, anything goes as long as you go to church on Sunday, that kind of thing. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the head of the deacon board, the chairman of the deacon board, chairman of the trustee board, and their wives, they met up to their house, and they, they had the mixed drinks, the weed.
What?
Girl, listen here. And these were the people that he rather be influenced by. These were the people, the preachers, and that they, kind of looked up to. So
The pastor getting high.
Girl, higher than a kite. And when I tell you that the deaconess had two marijuana plants that had grew as tall as the house. No exaggerations.
Oh my.
The girl, the cable men came in to install the cable. When they left, they took the trees with them.
For real?
Girl, and she didn't like
Thanks for the tip.
she didn't really cuss, so she said, "The Mickey Pickies." That's how she said. Took my trees. Girl, I laughed so hard.
I can't believe it.
I said, so what I said, you can't get mad, you know. So she had like a garden. She had like 2 or 3 lots that were all gardens. And right along her garden, she planted her.
Oh, the reefer.
Girl. So, at any rate, this is what he'd rather be influenced by. And it was like the more negative or sneaky or conniving people got, the more he seemed to admire those type of people. And it bothered me. It bugged me. But then he started to make it seem like that I was the one that was wrong. That my thinking was way out there. Oh, you need to cut that out. You do this or that. And I'm like thinking this has nothing to do with just being over too holy or whatever. This is just general right or wrong.
A narcissist and a preacher do not mix well.
Girl, listen. And you could not tell him anything. You could never tell him that he was wrong in anything. And if there was it was like everything was about him. Everything was centered about his dreams, everything he wanted to do in life, and everything how you had to help him make it happen, and how you weren't playing your part in doing it right, and how you were coming short, and how you were dropping the ball, and how you and growing up in a situation where I had gone through sexual abuse, mental and physical abuse, and verbal abuse. I just did what I felt like I had to do to make it better.
Now, when you say you went through that abuse, was that before that relationship or from
this
him?
was a lot of that was before this relationship. Now, let me say he never physically abused me. He never put his hands on me, and probably because he knew that I would fight back, because I was just never that type of person that you could hit and it'd just end like that.
Somebody said, "Is he a Libra?"
Girl, yes.
Oh wow.
Yes. And both of our children together are Libras.
Ooh. I know you had some moments in the household.
Honey, had. Still having. Yes.
Child.
Lord have mercy. And it's like, I'm not even into zodiac like that, but honey, there's something to that,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna kind of like jump ahead because
Okay.
yeah. So later on, I'm thinking, okay, it would get to the point to where when he would fall away or fall out with certain individuals, then his attention would be focused back on family, and things would be going really well, and this, that, and the other. And then that say, here we go again. It was always the music thing.
Right.
Could you hold on for one quick?
Okay. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for everybody who's giving their thoughts in the chat. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys like and share the video and subscribe to the Hood Table. And don't forget, we have a Facebook group that you could join. Just look us up on Facebook and request to join our Facebook group. It's a private group called the Hood Table. Oh, and by the way, she's watching her grandkids, so.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah,
it's okay.
I don't know, many people know, but
Your daughter.
my daughter's in the hospital. She got the coronavirus from work. She's a healthcare worker. She got the coronavirus from work. She was in a coma for 45 days, and she's been out of the coma now for about a week. But she still has a lot of healing to do. She's still
about that. I'm still keeping her in my prayers as well.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm taking care of her 3 kids. And,
we understand.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I apologize, and you know, I have no privacy. And if I had privacy, I wouldn't have privacy. So.
Right.
But anyway, so I forgot where I left off, but
I think I don't know what you were saying, honey. You said you was gonna jump forward a little bit.
Yeah, so let me just go to, everything was always about him and how you could help him to fulfill his dreams and things like that. So I got to the point to where, by me being a hairstylist full time at the time, I could make up to, I could make a lot of money, and there were times that I would make up to like $1,200 a day, and that is a lot of money to have on you at one time. And I like to see my money accumulate before, because you can't see your money if you make it and you steady spending,
Mm-hmm.
So I went and we had a joint account. That's a no. Always have your own.
Amen.
So I was putting money in the account at one end of the boulevard, and he was on the other end drawing it out, to the point to where I almost went to jail.
What?
For bank fraud, writing bad checks. Because when I wrote the checks, I knew that the money was there.
Right.
But he had been drawing the money out, and everything was bouncing. And it was like a domino effect. And I'm like thinking, like, what happened to that money? And I'm like, he had been spending my money, like going in the bank, spending, and he really didn't have anything to show for it. Just gas, I needed gas, or I needed this, or I need. Girl, it was crazy. And then he was always pursuing his music. Mm-hmm. He can sing. He is gifted at singing. He really is. And so, he was always in the studio. Mm-hmm. And we spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. And the only thing we ever got was a demo tape, because that's all it ever resulted to. There was nothing ever made out of that. So it was just, it was too much to be able to ask him, come on, let's kind of slow down on this, and we really need to make sure that the house the bills are paid on time, rather than to continue to spend. But I was like scolded for saying something about things like that.
Because he's the man of the house and he's the pastor.
Because he was the man of the house, and that by this time he had decided that the Lord had called him to become a pastor, not just a preacher.
Okay.
So obviously, we had leadership by that time that was bold enough to tell him, "You're not ready." So he got upset and got angry. And so when he got angry or when things were not going well in his world, it went bad at home. And I mean, it went terribly bad at home. Like, I got the worst of whatever everybody else did. So,
That's how it usually goes too.
yeah, I got the worst of it. So the next thing that would happen is like after him spending all of the money and the things going wrong is he wanted me to up and to move to North Carolina where he was, he had spent a large part of his childhood. So, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe this is something that we need him to start over. It'll take him away from all of the past relationships and all of this other stuff.
Clean slate.
Clean slate and go down there and start. Girl, that was like jumping out of the pan directly into the fire.
Oh Lord.
So we get down there, and that was his way to start off a church. Not only that, but it was it was to the point to where every time he would leave a place, little did I know he was going back to where he had last left a very bad reputation for himself.
Oh, okay.
So when we went back down there, it was like people were literally like, "Who is this?" Well, where the other lady you was just married to?
Who that woman, Harpo?
She don't look the same. She lost the weight. She a little lighter. It was just I had to live in the past.
Yeah.
Of these different people, and it just got, girl. It got so bad too. When we would step in the church and to go and visit the church, I knew the women he had affairs with just by how they treated me and how they reacted when they saw him with me.
Oh, that little jealousy, that little pettiness.
Girl, it was like this be, kind of thing. And it was like real dirty. Like I had done something wrong. I don't know these women.
Looking you up and down like you short.
Girl, like I'm short. And then here's the thing. And these are things that I didn't find out until my kids were my baby girl was getting ready to graduate high school, I think.
Okay.
He had other children the same age as some of mine.
Now, were those like from
allegedly?
And those weren't the ones from the two that he was pregnant with when y'all first. Oh, okay.
No, these were I guess some of those short trip babies. Like they had to be made on your visits there and back. It had to be that way.
Them turnarounds, those short turnaround trips.
There you go. Because some of these are like right between our children, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't make sense. So I'm like, okay. So these were the women that were giving me these looks, were the mother of these children.
Oh.
Girl. So I'm getting threats from people that I don't know. Like I took their man from them or something like that, but little did they know, one, I don't know who they were or anything, and two, you can have them if you want them. You can have them if you want them, because it was like it wasn't that serious.
I was like, I don't want no troubles. I don't want no trouble.
Not just no trouble. It would have been a relief. So the next thing you know, I'm down there. He's starting another church. He's this time, and it was out of rebellion that he started these churches. Oh, this time he decided to take an abandoned old church building, and he decided to um, remodel it, or what do they call it? Renovate it.
Renovate. Mm-hmm.
This building, this church building, was hundreds of years old, probably, literally, because it was a historic building, and it needed everything. So, who do you think ended up paying for all of that work? Because he didn't have a job,
You.
he wouldn't keep a job. There was always a reason why he couldn't keep a job. There was something always wrong. Like he sprung a hand and couldn't walk, something like that. You know what I'm saying? He would spring his thumb, so he had to limp. And I used to always
I'm sorry. You had to act it out, didn't you? You just had to act it out.
so I'm like, that how does that keep you from? So it put a lot of pressure on me because now your oldest son, which is his oldest son and my oldest daughter are the same age. That was the son that he came to the relationship with, and the daughter that I came to the relationship. But I was raising both of these kids as if they were my own, and then the child that we had together. So there were times where I had to go and ask for public assistance to get help. And that area is very, very small. So everybody knows your business. And they're like, how you gonna need this help when you all have a church over there that you all are renovating and this, that, and the other. That's how small the town was.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
I'm like, okay,
what part of North Carolina was it?
Thomasville.
Okay.
Thomasville, Greensboro, High Point, right in that triad area.
Okay.
So anyway, so we go, and then the next thing you know, we are, starting to try to build this church or whatever. And so we, some of the members, not a lot of them were word of mouth, like kind of people, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So his best friend that moved down to North Carolina, but he stayed. His friend went down, but he stayed. Then my ex came back, and that was during the time when one of those between babies was made, because there were a couple of them.
Okay.
So his friend came and he joined the ministry with his wife, and then some of the people that were in their choir, with his choir, because his friend was an excellent songwriter, singer, choir director, all of that. As a matter of fact, when Fantasia won American Idol and she did the song, I believe his choir was the choir that backed her up
Oh,
on
wow.
the song, and he did the arrangements and stuff. So,
Okay.
um,
I remember that.
yeah. So, and my ex, the guy that did it, and my ex were like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
So his wife and I became like best friends, and then there was another young couple. They weren't married, but they had a child together, and they were came to join the ministry. So this particular time there was a snowstorm, and our house was the only house that had power between the three or four couples.
Uh-huh.
So everybody came and stayed with us during the snow. So I never thought nothing of it because we were all like a close knit family.
Right.
We all put our resources together. Well, little did I know that the out of the couple that wasn't the couple that was a couple, but they weren't married,
Mm-hmm.
she fantasized about him, my ex, being her husband. So she was telling my kids because it was her turn to cook, right? So she was telling my kids, if you don't call me first lady, you won't eat today.
What? Shut your mouth. No, she didn't.
So this woman was going around telling everybody she was the pastor's wife, she was the first lady, and all this, that, and the other. And this is what she had been doing. And then it got to the point to where we start finding letters around, she strategically planted those letters and things like that.
Like leaving some lipstick or
Even stuff like, girl, all of it.
mm-hmm.
And girl, she was just doing stuff like, are you freaking serious right now? Like, are you serious? Like, call and collect from a cell phone that was off. But back then, you could still pick it up, dial operator, and get connected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those calls were $50 a call, charged to the house phone. So he'd accept it. I would be like, no, but he
Right.
accepted it. And she would be like, I just need some prayer. Well, you just charged me $50 to my phone just to say you need it. And he was allowing her to do that. So
That
it got to the
good
point
old prayer,
where
boy.
we had to, like, in order to pick everybody, and we would have to pick everybody from church and that little Nissan Sentra that we were driving. So we had to pick her up for church. I went by her house to make sure she was going to be ready at a certain time. She thought it was going to be him coming to check and see. Girl, she
Uh-oh.
came in the door with a bathrobe with nothing on it, and her hair wrapped up. I was like, are you expecting someone? Are you expecting somebody? And it was like, this is how she came. But I felt like
Child.
she was too comfortable doing that.
Right.
And she had a reason for having that comfort. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She was too comfortable. So I was like, okay, there's something to that.
Yep.
So after a while, it ended up getting so obvious, and that it wasn't my complaining that got him to do something about it. It was other people complaining about how she was treating me or how she was, acting, telling people she was the first lady and all this other kind of stuff. That finally, she got caught up in, oh, now he didn't believe me when I said it, but when all these other people came, then and it was always like that. It was always like he never he never covered me. He never
Yeah.
had my back on anything. And it was like people could talk to me anyway, treat
Mm.
me any kind of way. And he let it happen and tell me that I needed to get a tougher skin because this is the job of a pastor's wife. And this is how we were supposed to be done. And so it had got stuff started getting tougher and tougher. And finally, she ended up leaving. And I'm thinking, okay, she left the ministry. So maybe now things
Mm-hmm.
will get better.
Yeah.
Girl, it got worse.
Oh man.
It gets worse.
Oh, can it get worse?
Finally, I got to the point to where we came back to Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I begged to come back because I needed to be close to my family because at this point I was trying to plot my getaway.
Yeah.
So I got to I went ahead and got like back to Detroit, and I was so removed in my head that I was like visualizing myself running away, grabbing my kids and getting on the bus and just wherever that bus, as far as it would go, and just get off and start over.
Yeah.
So something happened, and I started to feel convicted because at that point I was feeling like maybe I'm not doing something right. Maybe it's my fault,
They
my
put the
fault, my
blame on
fault.
yourself.
And I allowed him to manipulate me. So I gave in and I decided to give it another try. As soon as I started to dedicate, and this girl came along, this demoness,
Ooh,
yes,
demoness.
this demoness was one I had never tried before. And well, not tried before. I'm sorry,
So
I've
she's
never been
totally
tried
brand
by
new.
before. Pardon
She
me.
she totally brand new. Never seen her before.
I don't know. I knew her, and that's the thing. She was my brother's god sister. They had sang in a community choir together, and she and my brother were extremely close. But she had told my brother that when she was younger, because we had been knowing her since she was 14, and she was like 10 years younger than us. So she had told my brother that she always had a crush on my ex, and so they were just joking about it, like, oh yes, I used to have a crush on you when I was younger. I always had a crush on you, da 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 da. And we talking about singing. This girl is bad. When I tell you vocally, she's like Kim Burrell. She is awesome. She can sing, sing, sing. I mean, and then he could sing really well.
Don't tell me they
So,
started doing duets.
honey,
Let us pray.
they were doing duets and more than just on the microphone. You hear me?
I hear you.
They were doing some duets, all right. Some solos and all that other stuff.
This says solos.
Solos. So, something strange. There was a strange shift starting to take place. And the next thing you know, he started not coming home at night. Um, he was working on the church. He was remodeling the sanctuary, and but I gotta say it was beautiful. But we were all working to do it. Like I helped to covered the pews, and me and the ladies in the church did it, and we recovered every pew in that church in one day.
Oh wow.
Painted the sanctuary, recarpeted it. It was gorgeous I mean, people were taking pictures and stuff. It was beautiful when we got done. But he is very gifted in that way. So we were redoing stuff at the church, and so that was his excuse.
Yeah.
Of being out, but it would turn out that she and her children, her two kids, was there, always there with him. Well, they were there with him so much that, and she would be everywhere he was. Like it got to the point to where I was at the hair salon working 12, 13 hours a day, and sometimes I wouldn't get off until 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I had to find a ride or walk home because he was taking her home and picking her up and taking her to rehearsals. And she was sitting in the seat that I was supposed to be sitting in. And she was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. And it was like she was the wife and I was the other woman. That's how
The roles just
the
reversed.
roles had played. So the next thing you know, it was like they got so comfortable they started slipping up. But I don't think she cared. You know, first he started telling people that I had issues from my past and I needed to deal with my issues. This was like setting it up for what they were trying to do. So in order to get me out of the picture, they had to try to play it like I'm driving him crazy, I'm driving him nuts, or I'm not giving him what he needs
To
because
get in,
I got mental issues and all this and the other. So
you needed a
and then she was playing on it, telling people, "Oh my gosh, she's chasing people away from the church, and people are leaving because she talking to them any kind of way." And and anybody that knew me knew that was her. She was doing that. Like she never met a stranger, and it's like she's the sweetest person in the world, and that's my person. I'll give you anything. I'll do anything. So most people were like, nah. And then I had armor bearers that were assigned to me, so my armor bearers knew the truth. And they were like, okay, now, no, that's not her. She's not doing it. But people believe what they want to believe.
right.
Girl, the next thing you know, I had went to Woman Thou Art Loosed. And when I got back from Woman Thou Art Loosed, I was so spiritually high. And I thought nothing could bring that high down until I started getting these phone calls that people had been spotting my husband and his woman in places they shouldn't have been.
Like where?
Hotels,
Holiday Inn.
all kind of stuff. And then I start finding hotel receipts, pictures, provocative pictures of her in the church van now, because that was our main source of transportation in the church van. People start calling me and saying that they got a phone call, and this was credible sources saying that he was getting ready to leave me for her, and they were going to get married.
So people knew that before you did.
People knew all of this before me. When I came back, she had on my windbreaker. It was a guy's windbreaker, jogging suit, tracksuit. But he always wore my jacket. She had my jacket on. She got it from him because she was called. So he took off, being a gentleman, took off his jacket and gave it to her. But it was my jacket. I made her take it off. Come right out of it. I couldn't believe it. Then she came out of her purse with his tie. She had his tie, his necktie in her purse, where he had taken it off at the restaurant and told her to hold it. Then he started doing this stuff in front of my children. You know, every Monday, because like I said, I did hair, so every Monday, we didn't work. He didn't do anything for the church. I didn't do anything for the salon. That was the day I paid the shop bills, or took care of all of the business I needed. But Mondays were the day we spent as a family. So in the summertime, every Monday we went to the beach. Every Monday as a family. We take the kids to the beach, take the grill, and we make a whole day of it. Well, by this time, we would have visiting ministers come to the church, and the visiting ministers were confused because he would say, "Well, that's Sister Stevens talking about me,"
Uh-uh.
but she was calling him Bay, and her kids were calling him Dad in the
They,
church.
ooh, they was playing in your face.
In my face, honey, all up in my face. Then she was going in the pulpit, picking up his, how the nurses have his juice and picking up his glass, drinking out of it. They were doing all this, and it was to mess with me mentally
Uh-huh.
because they wanted to show the other people where they had planted these seeds, how I had in fact really lost my mind or whatever.
So
So
do you think that they wanted a reaction from you, like for you to go crazy and start fighting, or
it's exactly what, so they can get me out of the picture, but they
okay.
wanted me to destroy myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm a praying woman. Do you hear me? And I did everything the way God would have me to do it. Everything. So I handled it. I took care of it. Finally, I removed myself from the situation.
Okay.
I left the church and I stopped answering the phone. So people start questioning my kids. Where's your mother? Now I know she see that phone ring and tell her she gotta answer that phone. She better answer that phone. But I stopped dealing with the people because they were reacting to me as if I had done the things that these people were saying that I was doing. So it started getting to the people that people were being defiant. They were cussing me out, telling me off, just tripping. And I'm like, what did I, to the point to where I would after the meetings and stuff was over, I locked the church up, go out into the vehicle and bawl my eyes out because I'm like, I can't believe my life is going like this. I was in such a pit of depression that I had lost like 70 pounds in like 2 months because all I couldn't eat for, I think it was 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't eat not one piece of meat, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All I did was drink a little water or a sip here and there. I had lost so much weight that I started losing muscle mass. And I couldn't do anything but cry. My armor bearers, my good friends, they would take me out to my favorite little Cracker Barrel or whatever to try to get me to eat. It got to the point to where this little old lady came up to me because I was just crying. I couldn't stop. I had cried so much, my face was swollen, my eyes was puffy, and it felt like rocks was in my eyes, and my tears felt like acid running down my face. I was so torn because I love this man. How could you do this? I've been faithful through all of these things you pulled to me over the years. Hang on one second.
Everybody, make sure you like the video, please. Share the video, please. Thanks for tuning in so very, very much. Subscribe to the Hood Table channel. And don't forget to join our private Facebook group called The Hood Table. And Miss Sislo will be back in 1 second.
Sorry, you guys.
That's okay.
So yeah, I got to the point to where it was like I was so broken. This older lady came up to me and Cracker Barrel, and she said, "So, honey, I don't know what it is." And she gave me this little card with a prayer on it. She said, "But whatever it is, God will take care of you, honey." Because she could see the pain that I was going through, and it was to the point that my friends were hurting because they knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he even made me go see a therapist and all this. And I would tell the therapist, the only thing that's wrong with me is what he's doing to me. That's And then she kept saying, well, yeah, well, let's deal with you. What's going on? And I was like, that's it. Is what he's doing. And then he's making everybody think that it's me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Manipulation.
it wasn't me. And I knew it was like he was really trying to destroy me, like mentally. But honey, I know a God. I know a Savior that will never leave you nor forsake you. And he said he will be with me always, even until the ends of the world. Baby, I stuck with that. So it got to the point to where now people ain't start slipping up so bad. People in the church will come at the church at 1 and 2 or 3 in the morning and catch the two of them closed in the his office with all the lights off. And
No,
she come out the office with her clothes disheveled.
not at the church.
Then he got to the point to where he got so bold that when I came home from work, he had to move this woman in my house.
Hold on.
He moved her and her 2 kids in my house.
While you were still living there.
I was there. It was my house. And when I was at work, she was going through my room, using my hair curlers and my makeup, everything. I'm like, this woman has really just go overstep. And he allowed her to do that. From the day she moved in my house, now she moved the next day, or what, I think it was a day or two, because I wasn't having it. I was like, no, she
I
happened. So
that's messed up.
from that point on, we never slept in the room. He stopped sleeping in the room. We never slept in the same bed together after that.
Mm-hmm.
From that day on, and the day that I knew something was wrong, there were certain things, Christian, there were certain things that we never did in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Never. And he did that. I knew right then. It was like, nope.
He out there experimenting.
Yes, he was. Just, I was like, mm-mm.
He got turned out in the church.
So I was like, okay. Then what he did was the same Monday night thing thing that we did together as a family with all of our family members and stuff. I'm sitting at home. He comes to the house to pick the kids up. His mom, his sisters, and all of them was in the van, and this woman pulls up in front of my house in her own car, all happy go lucky. They're getting ready to go to the beach and do our tradition that we have been doing for 12, 11 years.
No, they ain't. With your kids.
Had my children, and they went out. And not only that, they were sharing food and playing nasty in the water in front of my children. My oldest daughter was 13 at the time. So, she's starting to think as a young woman. So she knew what was going on. So from that point on, when they did that, I didn't let my kids go with them, and I stopped letting them go to the church with them because I told them, you're not going to confuse them and make them think that this is what God is all about.
Right.
So they can't go until you get yourself together. They're going to just go with me. And I think it's the right thing to do. And then for you to disrespect me in front of my daughter, and then they started treating my child as if she was doing something wrong. That was it. But his mom flipped the script, and the little girls called my ex-husband dad. And my baby girl was only 3 at the time. And she said, "That's not your daddy. That's my daddy." And his mother, my ex-husband's mother, whooped my baby for saying that. She
Ooh.
whooped her. Girl, I went so hard for her. I said, if you ever put your hands on my child again for telling the truth,
It's gonna be some
it's
problems,
gonna be hell to pay the captain.
some repercussions.
This the straw that brought the camel back, babe. They went down to North Carolina for his aunt's wedding. His mom
Oh,
died.
1 second. Could you have them turn the TV down a little bit in the background?
Uh,
Just a little bit.
it's not even on. I
Okay.
mean, I don't think it's on
I'm
anyway.
hearing some music or something. Okay.
It might have been something ringing.
Okay.
Yeah. So they went down to North Carolina for a wedding, and so his mom, at the time, we were still okay,
Okay.
relationally, we still all this other stuff. So she asked me, she said, "Well, could you help me book a car?" I said, "Sure, I can reserve it, but I'll reserve it with my credit card, and you just pay the money for it, whatever." She said, "Okay," and she asked me to do that and to book the rooms. So I said, "Okay, no problem." Honey, do you not know that this woman changed my reservations from the car that I already and got a bigger car and got a hotel room for my husband and this woman to sleep together, booked on my credit card.
The mother-in-law?
The mother-in-law. I called and I canceled all. I said, "What kind of nerve you got?"
They would have been at the Super 8.
It don't matter if you were staying at the Roach Motel. That was wrong for
The
you to take
mother-in-law?
something from my and his Mitchell. And then you told me and my daughter, they told you and your mama got problems. You
Uh,
and your mama crazy.
oh,
After that, that was the last function my children ever went to with them.
no.
And that was the last time now I forgave them, but I don't need anybody.
Right.
Not in those terms. Then it was this was where the end, when we came to the marriage came to, well, it had ended before that, but you know what I mean.
Because all this time, he's still a pastor of that church.
All the time he's still the pastor, all this was going on. My birthday is September the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
My good girlfriend's birthday is September the 10th. We always celebrated our birthdays together and go out to, after service, we go out and do this. Now, mind you, hold on, that is, now they got.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up the live. Miss Sislo is sharing a very sensitive story with us. And we appreciate her for that, because lately what we've been doing on the channel is talking about church hurt, church manipulation, and spiritual abuse. So make sure you guys please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And once more again, don't forget to look us up on Facebook, The Hood Table, and click the join button to join our private Facebook group.
I'm sorry again, guys.
That's okay.
So my birthday was coming up. Or my birthday came and I told my kids, I said, whatever you do, don't say anything to him, because I knew he had forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
So that morning, let me say, he started to treat me like he used to acknowledge me at church every Sunday. He would like, to my fine wife, my beautiful wife, my fine wife. So he went from that to going to Sister Stephen. And he went from that to not saying anything at all.
Now, where was you at in the church, and where was she at this time? During this time, was she at the front? Was she?
She would sit behind, distance behind me, but she sang in the choir or the praise team or whatever. But I always sat in the front, right in the front.
Okay.
So he got to the point to where he wasn't acknowledging me at all. He wasn't acknowledging me through at all. Period. So this particular time, my birthday, it was my birthday. My birthday fell on a Sunday. And I went in that we we weren't sleeping in the same bed, or he was barely coming home or any of that. So I went in, and it was always customary that I would come in the office before his service, and I always give him a kiss and say, have a good service, and we'll talk after that. Not to mention that we tied together the whole time we were married. We tied as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I started, after all of this was over, I looked all the financial records, girl. So my ties alone, because I was making good money, would be like something so as much as $200 a Sunday.
Oh wow.
And he was putting my money in his pocket. He none of the financial records at the church reflected any of my tithes.
What?
He had been changing the record, changing the envelope, pocketing my money.
Oh. Oh, I want to say something so bad, but I can't.
Spending my money on her
Oh,
and her kids.
that devil.
You hear me? So it got to the point, I'm like, so
So
I,
not only were
on
you
my
paying all the bills
birthday,
at home, you was paying all the bills at home. He's still
yes,
not working,
girl, wait a
and you taking
minute.
your money out the church too.
And he taking my church. And then, well, let me say this. On my birthday, he forgot it was my birthday. I went in the office that morning, and I was like, you forgot something. He said, what? And it was like, mind you, whenever he talked to me like it pained him to talk to me. Like it really hurted. Like it aggravated. Like he
Yeah,
treated me like he hated me.
I know what you mean.
Like
Yeah.
she's okay, good. So I'm sorry, he's giving me an update on my daughter.
Oh,
Her husband just came back from dropping stuff off to her.
I hope he's doing better.
Yeah. So it came to the point to where I went in there, I said, you forgot something. He said, what? What? I said, you forgot my birthday. No, I didn't. He had forgotten it. So
Wasn't recognizing it.
he had another, no, he had forgotten it.
Oh, okay, okay.
He had to preach at a second church that day.
Oh, okay.
So what happened, this buzzard preached through the Sunday morning service. He never said anything to anybody in the church or anything about it being my birthday. He never said nothing. We got to the second service, and he said, um, After he got finished preaching, he said, I'm gonna take my wife out for her birthday. If y'all want to join us, you can.
Mm.
The mother of the church was like, chill him. You mean it was her birthday and you didn't tell us?
It was like all day her birthday.
You didn't tell us? Now that's not right. That's not right. And see, because those people, girl, 1 year for my birthday bought me this bad B Michaels suit, the hat. I'm sorry, Michael Max suit and B Michael hat. It was everything. It was, oh my god, it was bad. The suit was bad, girl. It was a suit that I had been wanting. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I knew they would have done something. And I was a very active. I mean, I taught the young people. I wrote plays. I directed the plays. I taught dance. Um, everything. The young people was. I mean, the women's ministry. We had women's conferences that were successful. We bought the church money from me raising funds, some doing thing. The kids put on a play, and then we cooked dinners. They took orders and they served everybody. It was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some carry out in the hallway. Carry out trays in the hallway.
Oh, okay. I was just putting that in there. I ain't gonna.
So it was like
I'm gonna feed it in a minute.
they ate.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry. So we all, I did so much at that. For the most part, the people were crazy about me because I was really active. But when he did this and didn't tell them, they were hurt. The people were really hurt. But this is what happened. We get in the van, girl. The young man that was the musician was driving.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So he was sitting in the driver's seat. My ex was sitting in the passenger seat. I was sitting directly behind him. And she was sitting on the following row in the van behind me, but on the driver's side.
Mm-hmm.
He turned around and said, just how he said it, after this was on my birthday, where y'all want to go eat? Now, I knew we didn't really have the money because we had just got the lights back on. And I had to do that. So I knew we didn't have the money. I was like, you know what? I really did. And I went in there. I didn't want to go out to eat with her. You crazy? So I was like, I'm good. He looked at me and looked past me and looked at her and say, where you want to go eat?
Ooh, he was a mess. A whole mess.
I said, okay. All right. When we got to the restaurant, she gonna say, First lady, are you okay? I wanted to slapped her.
She had the nerve to still be calling you first lady and she's sleeping with your man who is the pastor. The pastor? Mm-mm.
When that was it,
I can't.
the very next day, he told me he couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take it no more. He called my best friend, that's still my best friend, to my sister to this day, and told her to come and get me. He was about to leave. And he didn't want me to be there because he didn't want me to give him a hard time. So she came, he called her to the house to come and get me. She came and got me a bone. Before she got there, I was so hurt. I belittled myself. begged him not to go. I got on my knees and belittled myself and begged him. He looked down at me and he turned his nose up and he said, "Look at you. Get up."
Oh my goodness. Mm-mm. Now, was you begging him to stay because of the sake of the kids,
I
or
don't know. I
marriage,
don't
or
know. I
the?
don't know. I felt so defeated. I was torn. I was confused. It was just so much.
Mhm, mhm.
But I knew I didn't want to live like that no more, but I just didn't know what else I wanted to do. But the feeling of hurt, I wanted something to trigger him.
That was like a final stab in the heart, kind of like
I
the.
wanted something to trigger him and make him say, "Boom, do you see what you're doing?" I wanted that. So I wanted him to just, something to just spark him. And I tried to literally love the hell out of him. And it never, never, never happened.
Mm.
I was through with him when this joker was taking my money that we were supposed to be paying out to pay bills together. And he was taking my money, spending it on this woman, and our lights got cut off. And he left us in the dark. I had to sleep for 3 nights with my gun on my hip while my children. I sat in a chair up over them with them sleeping in the pallet in front of me so that I could watch over them while they slept at night. I stayed watch over my kids with my gun on my hip
Oh.
to make sure nothing. It wasn't until after, I'm almost, it wasn't until after all of that that somewhere on the along I got the strength to say, one day, I don't know how, I don't know when, but this is not gonna hurt me anymore.
Mhm.
And I went on. After that, honey, I got myself together. I went back to college. I got my associate's degree. Then I turned around 2 years later with my bachelor's degree, and then turned right back around and got into the master's program and started doing things to better myself and to feel better about myself. And I did everything I can. I raised my kids by myself. To this day, this man owes me $250,000 in back support.
That's 250.
$223,000. I could call a number and let you listen to it.
225. Yeah, 225. Oh Lord.
It's 223,000.
And is he still a pastor?
Yeah, yes.
Hold on. So he ain't taking the money from his current woman to give it to you like he did you to her? No,
Oh no, I know
that's
they
too
just
like
bought.
right.
What do
That's
you?
too like right. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Mm-mm-mm. Make sure you like the video, you guys. Make sure you share the video and subscribe to the channel, please. And thank you very, very much. Show us some love. Show Miss Sissel some love by liking this video and sharing it. Whew, this is deep. This is deep, y'all.
So ultimately, out of all of the things that I went through, even at this point, I had to forgive him in order to heal myself. Because when I had to walk away from my home, last summer. I had to walk away from my home because he begged me to trust him and give him the opportunity to do the work on my house. I knew he wasn't going to do it because, number one, the work that needed to be done on the house, he would have to work diligently for at least 6 months straight.
Mhm.
And I know his wife wasn't going to be go for him being away that long. I ain't want to be bothered with him. I just needed the work done on my house. My house was paid off. And he wanted, because for 20 something thousand dollars in the state of North Carolina where he lives, um, he could go to prison for a long time. And now
Mhm.
Michigan, you know, you see what he been on the run for 20 some years, so he
Shoot, I
been.
know a lot of people who owe hundreds, 50 more, and they ain't in jail. I don't know why, but they still running around here. They might not have a license, a driving license, but they still around here. Like,
He never showed up to do the work on the house like he promised. And when I asked him for his address to send the paperwork to, he told me he wasn't about to do all that. He wasn't doing none of that mess, you know. And I said, well, I just send it to the church. He told me, do what you got to do.
ooh, you don't have an advantage to check.
This was just recently. This man owes me $223,000, and I don't even have a home.
That's
Now, I had to walk away from my house. I have been homeless since last summer.
and right now you're staying with your daughter, right?
And my daughter.
In your daughter's home?
No, I'm in her house
Yeah, in her house. Hmm.
with her kids until she comes out of the hospital. And when she comes home, I'm only here to help with the babies right now. But I can't say her house is very small. It's enough room for her and her babies. And although I appreciate being here, I'm a grown woman.
Right.
And I have a 10-year-old adopted son and my 23-year-old daughter. We need our own space.
Yeah.
And when that man, we were moving back, he told my daughter he was going to give her gas money in January
Hmm.
to come move back into Michigan. And he still ain't called her back. He does that. Now my kids he want, but the boys, those boys that he either yada or they boo boo.
Well, let me ask you this. Um after he left that night
Mm-hmm.
with the other woman, uh how long after that did y'all get a divorce? Did he immediately like send
Girl,
her?
no. Listen, I ended up filing for divorce.
Okay, okay.
And he got mad because he wanted to be the one to do it. I was like, Joker, what difference does it
Yeah, you got
make?
to beat him to the punch.
I said, you know, I'm not going to continue to be attached to you while you're out there doing what you're doing. No. So when I got my girl, no. Yeah, I ended up filing for a divorce. And needless to say, our divorce was final in, I want to say, like February, March, something like that.
Mhm.
Um, it might have been even January. I can't remember, girl. But I do know that like a couple of weeks later they were married.
So they was in one of those states where you didn't have to wait.
They were married like right after. As soon as the
Wow.
divorce is granted,
Oh, as soon as it was
we go
finalized,
back.
they got
Uh-huh.
married too.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And we went to court and he tried to finesse the judge. The judge was like, you realize you don't have a voice, right? He was like, you had your chance to talk and you didn't respond to any other ex partes, anything. You ain't respond to nothing. And now you want to get up here and say, and don't tell me nothing about you being a pastor because that doesn't impress me with your behavior. Yeah, he got the right one. So,
He probably came in there looking just like a pastor too, all clean cut, suit on.
girl, there's no dressing. So, wearing jogging suits and and dress shoes. You
Well,
know,
what you said he wore? You said he
jogging suits, dress shoes.
jogging suits with dress shoes. Did he have knee high socks or did he have the silk socks?
Girl.
The
And then the thing about it is that he's raising other people's kids. Like he raised the woman he left us for. He raised her kids.
I hate that.
And then the woman he's with right now, he's raising her. Says they call him dad and everything. He taking good care. They just bought a new house, got land. He bought his wife a new Cadillac, Benzes, and everything. They upgraded the church, the latest everything. But you will not answer the phone for my two kids.
And $225,000. How a pastor? I mean, does the fellowship, the members, do they know any of this? Like,
I don't even think he told his wife about the child support. I don't think she knows. But I hope they send me that stimulus money.
Oh, they will.
I hope though. I don't know.
Anybody who owes child support, they take your.
Yeah, but I don't even think he files taxes. I know he works under the table.
Oh well, that's right. He probably didn't even file because if he did, you would have been getting
right.
You know?
I even asked him. I said, "Could you get an insurance policy? I'll pay the premium, but just get an insurance policy and name the girls as the beneficiary. So if something ever happens to you, at least they can get that." He laughed. He laughed in my face.
He need to have some fun. He need to have some fundraisers at the church. They need to have some bake sales, some car washes. She'll have everybody bring old clothes to donate to sell. Have a yard sale. That's a lot of money. And that's not the first pastor I heard of. I know
when they turn 18, he wasn't gonna pay nothing else. And then out of all since he left, he sent $300 one time, and he said $100 maybe twice. Since he been gone, I kid you not. And then the few little dollars he sent, he would tell me I'm gonna have to send it to my mother and send it. I said, I'm a grown woman. Why do you see me to send child support money to your mama for me? Lord. Just trust me. I just gotta do. No, you need to talk to your wife and tell her about your dad.
Maybe he don't want you knowing his address. Do you know his address?
No.
That's why. That's why. And see, I know another person who has a baby father who is a pastor and he owes them like $60,000-$70,000, and he's a pastor with a whole church and remarried and owe almost $100,000 child support. And that just kills me to know there are pastors out there who ain't even paying their child support for their own kids. That's disgusting. That's disgusting to me. Like, you taking care of everybody else in the church, you praying for everybody, you visiting the sick and shut in, you laying hands on everybody and taking care of a whole nother family, but you can't pay your child support as a pastor. That's despicable. I can't.
Yep, but he still hasn't responded. He has no intention on responding. He's content doing what he's doing.
Well, I know we've been on here for a long time, listen to you tell your story, and we truly appreciate. I just want to give people the opportunity if they got. I know they've been asking questions throughout the chat, but if there's any questions that you guys want to ask Miss Sislo before we end it.
Let me because I can't see. Oh, here we go. I couldn't see the doggone comments all this time. Now I see
So
them.
many comments in the chat. I've been highlighting some of them, but if there's any questions you guys want to ask pertaining to the marriage, the pastor, or anything like how
Yeah, you can ask me anything. I'm not.
how
I'm.
long how long did it take you to heal after this? Like
You
truly
know.
heal.
Um. I went through an inner healing. I got a lot of spiritual healing and things like that, and that really helped me.
Mm-hmm.
But my healing really took place when I actually forgave him for how he treated me and how he treated the kids afterward. Because see, the thing, my biggest thing was, you can treat me how you want to, but don't treat the kids bad because they didn't deserve that.
Right.
So when I actually forgave him for the way, because he was so nasty. He treated me like he had caught me in the bed with his best friend or something. That's the way he was treating me. He was treating me really mean and nasty. I'm sorry, guys, but
It's that reverse psychology. That's what that is. That reverse psychology make you feel like you done everything wrong to them, so they can have a reason to get upset with you. That reverse psychology.
exactly, and that's exactly what was going on. He had to act like he was angry with me, or what that I had done something for him to be able to justify treating me the way
Yeah.
he did.
Well,
So you
somebody
said
asked
how many years did you? We were married for 12 years.
12.
We were married for 12 years.
Y'all
But
got
yeah,
married.
why do
Like,
you believe that you accept the most? Like I said, Blue Heart. Um, I have been through so much abuse. Um, all through my childhood and young adulthood, or in my teenhood, that I just didn't. I wanted it to stop. So I thought that if you just literally love the hell out of people, that they would, love you back. Like if you just stuck with them through everything, that they would have to say, wow, that something was gonna click in him and say, she's a good woman. He didn't want for nothing, honey. I took care of everything. Everything. I never told him no. He cooked. I cooked, and I'm a good cook every day. I took care of his kids and the ones I didn't birth as if they were my own. I made no differences with those kids. I still don't. Matter of fact, I still babysit the grandkids and everything. I've always been a very, very, very good woman. So I wanted him to something in him, the God in him, to click and say, what am I doing?
right.
But that never happened. So I was holding on to a false sense of hope, and
Yeah.
it
It's
took
hard to
me.
leave when you go into the relationship and they so nice and caring and thoughtful and they seem so perfect and they sweep you off your feet. So when stuff like that happens, you like, dang, like you were saying, you were thinking like, what am I doing wrong? What did I do? When did it all change?
And then he would say stuff like, "You dropped the ball. You should have did this, and it's all about you this and you that and you did." You said, "Did he give me Did he
Yeah, did
give
he ever
me
give you
an
any kind of
explanation or
ever
any type of closure?"
like
You
a
know, he gave me a real dry. Yeah, I'm sorry, kind of. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
oh
it was about the work, the paper it was printed on. It was nothing. I mean, because he's not a person that keeps his word, or it's like his words. has no value to it. Nothing has any value to it. So anything he says or what have you, it means absolutely nothing. So it ain't even go to the ceiling. It just went straight to the floor. He can say he's sorry all he wants to, but actions speak louder than words. And you're not showing up.
Right.
Like to none of the kids. He never went to none of my children's graduations, none of their penance ceremonies, nothing. He was there for nothing. Like he just met um, the grandkids maybe a year or so ago. It's like
It's just crazy
he's
because
just sorry.
we
And his grandfather is more like my grandfather than anything. And I just talked to him a couple of weeks ago, and he says, "Granddaughter, I cannot tell." He says, "I love you so much. And he said, "It's sorry to say, but I love you than that knucklehead, more than that knucklehead grandson of mine." He said, I just can't get it in me why he does you the way he does you, granddaughter. I just don't get it." And I mean, for someone, and my grandfather is, he's no dummy. And this man is superintendent in Church of God in Christ, and he was once the financial secretary for Chrysler. He is well to do, and he was very hurt by what his grandson had done. So it's just crazy, But yeah,
Yeah, the thing is, we see this a lot when it comes to men, leaving their family for another family and taking care of their other children, even if they ain't theirs, the other woman's children, and not taking care of their own, and then end up on all this child support. We see that a lot, but when it comes from a pastor, it's just, I get tired of hearing people say, God, pastors are human too. I know that, but
mm,
still, like, people try to give pastors excuses like they ain't supposed to live up to a certain standard. Like, you are supposed to live up to a certain standard.
right,
Because you are leading people. Like, people are following you. You're the shepherd, you have sheep, and God, if he truly called you to do that work for him, you should be held to a higher standard. And so I get tired of people saying, quit holding these pastors to a higher standard. Like, what? Well, I'm supposed to hold him right next to me? I'm supposed to kick it with him and go out to the club and smoke and drink? And is that how we do now?
right.
So yeah, it's just crazy. It's hard to fathom pastors being like that, like having a whole nother family and not taking care of their original family and their children. And that's, how can he sleep at night and you up there preaching to people?
Girl, and it was so crazy because he kept saying stuff like, "I don't." What did he say? "I don't have it, and I don't this and I said, "You know what? Let me tell you something. You still eating and getting fat. Every time you put a fork to your mouth, you need to know that your kids should be eating too. Don't give me no excuses about you ain't got it. You got businesses and you just bought properties, and I mean properties with zip lining and whatnot on their property.
What?
Come on here. Come on here. We don't have any. We are like living out of a car pretty much. Seriously. I shouldn't have to go through this. And the only I had the home. My house was paid off. But I had got to the point where I couldn't stay there anymore. The roof started caving and it had black mold. And I am disabled. I couldn't stay there any longer. I had to do what I had to do to live another day.
Yeah.
So I had to leave. And disability is not much, honey. So
Nope.
I'm living day by day. Well, guess what? God is gonna bring me back and restore everything that the
Amen.
canker worm. I'm gonna be okay. I believe that.
I do
I
too.
believe that. I do. I'm not gonna give up my faith and lose my faith because of something somebody else did. God didn't do that to me. He did. Miss Jefferson, you said your son knew him. Did I misunderstand something? You said
Oh, hold up. She said, where is it at? Right? Gail, you said your son.
Yeah.
Maybe said something
My
up there.
son knew him, something like that. What did she say? Oh, wait a minute. Lord, I done went too far, didn't I?
Well, I'm going up the chat to see if she was referring to something else.
Yeah.
You know her. You know her.
1043. I don't think so. I don't think so.
He stays in Michigan, right?
My son knew him. I'm just glad he noticed good and bad. I'd like to know, like.
Hold on, Gail.
She said, I've been in there. How do I know you?
Gail, are we talking about the same person? Are we talking about the same pastor? Because
I've been aware of his mess for 25 years.
He's located in Michigan, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Gail, are you talking about her ex-pastor husband in Michigan, or are you talking about somebody else? Because now inquiring minds wants to know.
Yeah.
Somebody said, can you use your businesses for what he owes you?
I don't understand.
Can you use the businesses? I don't know what they said. Explain that, Blue Heart, please.
And Gail, please. She said she's been aware of his messiness for 25 years. If she's been aware of his messiness,
she's referring to somebody else because allegedly there is somebody else here that fits almost the bill of this same.
Wow.
Who is a pastor?
Oh yes, she said
I know who she's talking about.
Okay.
I know. Right. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, she said Sue.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Can
you know what? See, here's the thing. He don't work. He works under the table, so he does it that way. So he doesn't, by him not paying, taxes or having any taxable income. It's hard to.
Yeah, have you tried to take him to court for? I mean, I know that seems.
Listen, girl, when I took him to court, the day before he was supposed to go to court, he jumped states. He got out of Michigan and moved to North Carolina, and after that, he fell off the radar where I couldn't get an address for him.
Oh wow! See,
yeah.
Boy.
And see, now I'm like, do you still pursue? My baby girl's 23 years old.
So you think should you just leave it up to your daughter?
No, he don't need that money. She didn't raise herself.
I mean, as far as the connection, like some parents, once their children get old, they just like after trying so hard to get
see, Blue Heart. Here's the thing, baby. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Blue Heart. The thing is that he bought the stuff, but 9 times out of 10, it ain't in his name. It's probably in his wife's name because his credit ain't worth a doggone. I still know his Social Security number, boo. His credit ain't no nothing.
Can she be garnished?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she can. But I bet she don't know.
She probably don't know.
I know she don't know because girl, I wouldn't. He can be tracked by a Social Security number, but baby, guess what? He ain't using that thing for nothing.
Well, I know personally that if they working under the table, having a Social Security number, address, fingerprint, ain't none of that gonna work, because there are some jobs out here who only pay under the table, and when they give them that I-9 or W-9, whatever it's called, at the end of the year, if they don't file taxes, then you ain't getting nothing. And I know somebody personally who ain't filed taxes. See, this is why I hate the child support system. They ain't filed taxes in probably 10 years and been working the whole time.
The one he left me for, they actually took her income tax return and gave it to give to me, right? But she filed a injured spouse form to get her money back, because
they have 30 days. When somebody gets a garnishment for child support, the payee has 30 days. If it's not coming from their job and it's coming from an outside source, like a stimulus check or something like that, they got 30 days to request that they keep that money. Just for the people who don't know about that, but yeah. But see, I was saying I hate the child support system because there's employers out there who pay under the table, like contractors and stuff like that, and they don't force them to turn in that information on the people they paying, and that's why a lot of guys get away with. They know how to play the game. Get a job that pays really well under the table.
But he works for himself. He does like home improvement and stuff like that.
Yeah, contractor jobs. That's what I'm talking about. They get paid under the table most of the time. Tell you.
His or hers. Yeah, I got his phone number, but that don't mean nothing. He don't answer for his kids.
It's sad. It's sad.
He don't answer for his kids. So it's one of those things. It's like he's gonna avoid it at all costs. And at this point, because he's so cocky, when I told him I just send the correspondence to the church, and he was like, "Do what you gotta do."
He probably gonna intercept it because he probably gets the mail anyway. So
he can intercept all he wants to intercept, but they will come up in that church on a Sunday.
Girl, you should go up there with a bullhorn. Go up there with a bullhorn and some big signs and a bullhorn screaming outside the church.
And then the other thing is that he's had about 5 or 6 heart attacks.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah. Is that karma? That's that karma.
Girl, I don't know. I don't want the man to die.
It ain't up to you.
But I just, well, you're right. You
could be getting them heart attacks as karma, as a sign, like, okay, you just had another heart attack. Is you gonna do is you gonna make some changes? How many heart attacks you gotta have before you realize there's something that you need to do and get right before you leave this here earth? But some people is like it's a lost cause, but I'm glad y'all okay. I mean, even though you're probably not in the situation that you would want to be in, but the kids
you see, bingo refers to. Okay, I'm gonna try and see what happens.
Yeah, because
Miss Lady School, she
had bingo reverse.
She on the mission.
Miss Lady Schools, we're gonna hire you so you can help us.
You hear me?
we about to start an investigation team. Sure, a private eye. We need some private eyes. Sure, we need.
Act like, see,
murder she wrote.
Tiffany Haddish on them. Like, you out.
The lady on Murder She Wrote, Angela something. That's what we need to stalk him down and find out where all his assets at. Angela from Murder She Wrote, ain't that her? Is that the show?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about from Why Did I Get Married, Angela?
Oh no.
Marcus.
Girl. That's
Big
one of
Mouth.
that's one of my favorite shows. Why Did I Get Married?
Well, you know, I like the Tyler Perry with Linda. Linda, how you doing, Linda? What's her mama name? You know what I'm talking about? Golly. Y'all know.
The little old lady. The little old lady. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. What's her name?
I don't know. I can't think of it.
She said, Linda,
Yeah.
you just a big me. I love her, girl.
Yeah.
Is she on her hair?
I'll take some Taco Bell. So, my son.
I know that's right. Y'all send me some. Send me some
My
Taco
son in the
Bell.
chat talking about, do you want some Taco Bell? Yeah, you already know what I want. I want some Dorito Loco.
Oh,
And
tell me, see, I know you owe all of us Taco Bell. Not talking about, do you want some? You know you can't offer no fat people no food.
I want some cinnamon balls or whatever them little balls called, and I want some Dorito Loco taco.
Girl, stop before you fall.
I can't believe he asked me that in the chat. But he know. I mean, when I'm live, I don't check my phone.
Oh, heart, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for
Yes. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight.
thanks everybody, and thank you for listening. Keep me in your prayers. And
and your daughter too.
Come on over to my page and holler at your girl sometime.
Matter of fact, can you put
if you can catch me.
Can you put your link in your hold on. Let me hold up.
I don't know if I can or not.
It's called Mistress Slow
Newsworthy update.
Okay, hold on. I'm about to find it. Mistress Slow.
Stop, Madison.
Newsworthy.
Stop before you fall. Stop.
Update.
Go put that up.
I can turn
Go.
Okay, I found it. Cause I'm gonna put your link in here so people can subscribe to your channel.
All right. I appreciate you. And be looking out for the book. The name of the book is The Last Shall Be First Lady. I will keep Tanya posted on when I'm finished. And you guys, I just want you guys to support me.
Yes, please support, and don't forget to keep her daughter in her prayers too. As y'all can hear, there's some kids in the background. You know, her daughter's in the hospital. She had caught the coronavirus. She was on like breathing machines and just dealing with all kind of stuff from the corona. She had a severe case of coronavirus, so her daughter's still in the hospital. We heard her husband, her daughter's husband or
yeah,
right?
it was her. Yeah,
her daughter's husband had came in while we were live and gave her an update because he had just visited her, but she's been in the hospital for a while.
He can't visit her. He went to take her contacts.
Yeah, well, she's been Miss Sislo been holding it down at her daughter's house, taking care of the kids, her grandkids, like a good grandmother would do. So make sure y'all keep her in your prayers, keep her daughter in the prayers, her grandkids, and support her channel as well. Don't just support mine. I've been subscribed to Miss Sislo for a very long time, and she has some great commentary and makes some great videos. And she talks about a lot of stuff that deals with family and life and children, and all the time she cooks. Live cooking. Sure.
I did. But that was on my Facebook channel. I did my better than Benihana's fried rice and garlic butter the other day.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I'm still getting calls from that.
Ooh, I'm still feasting on Mother's Day. The food I made for Mother's Day. So the kids
I
have me.
think you are Lady School. Yep, I think you are subscribed.
My son said prayers up. Everybody in here is keeping you in their prayers, praying for your daughter. And
Thank you.
yeah, Miss Lady School says she's been subscribed to you, but she didn't.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you had took a little hiatus because of what's going on with your daughter and
Yeah.
the kids
I
and
think when she come on, I always say, "Hi, let's scoop the coop the coop the coop the coop."
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So she's back making videos. So make sure y'all go on over there, click that link in the chat, and subscribe to her channel and show her some support.
Yes. Look, I'm still look. I might get to 1,000 by the end of the year.
Yes, we need to get you to 1,000. We need to get you to 1,000. We need to come up with a plan. Come up with a plan to get you to 1,000 because I know you support a lot of people in this sector, YouTube. So, and I totally appreciate your support. And so maybe we should do some kind of what did we used to do back in the day? Oh, see, it's a little bit harder now. It's a little bit harder now. You got to actually drop the links in the chat because YouTube changed it to where we can't click next to somebody's name and it takes us automatically to their channel. It don't do that no more.
So
actually click the link. So again, the link to her channel is in the chat. So click that link and please subscribe to Mrs. Lowe's channel.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Thank you. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video, subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, excuse me, some people in the chat was requesting to join our Facebook group while we was live. And I did check over there. So I did add some of y'all who just requested within the last hour to join that Facebook group. So check out our Facebook group. If you're not a member, it's the same name as our YouTube channel. So The Hood Table. Click the join button, answer some questions. Make sure you agree to not get out of pocket up in there and be rude and disrespectful, all that stuff. But other than that, and join the group. We have a lot of fun in there, Kiki's. We talk about a lot of topics. We bring up a lot of topics to discuss on our Friday Night Lives because on Friday Night Live, if y'all ain't never been on our Friday Night Lives, every Friday at 9 p.m. Central Time, is no holds barred, no topics off limit. Friday Night Live, you can jump on the StreamYard. We can talk about whatever, the media, the corona, your kids, your whatever.
Whatever.
The trending news. We talk about everything on Friday Night Live. So
get it off your chest.
Yeah, say it with your chest. Say it with all.
You don't want me to say it with my chest. It's blinded. But check this. Let me say, the purpose of me, being willing to share in this live is not for me to browbeat anyone or to hurt anyone or anything like that, but that there are other people that are going through the same situation or similar situations, and to let you know, number one, you don't have to go through it. Number two, you're not alone. You don't have to be alone. Okay. And I pray that it helps someone that's going through situations like mine, so that maybe if you could hear my story, and someone else will be able to recognize the red flags and be able to avoid some of the situations from happening in your own life. It's easy when you are in love or something like that to be blinded by love, and to allow love to make you feel so convicted that you can't get away and you can't let go. But I don't want any of you to feel like you owe it. It's your debt to someone to stick through with them in an abusive situation. So, that's my whole purpose of sharing my story, and not to hurt anyone or anything else. But I am at liberty enough, just as he was at liberty enough to do it, I'm at liberty enough to share my story.
Yeah. And we really appreciate it. And thank you so much, everybody who's sending heartfelt wishes and prayers to her and her family. And thank you, Loretta. Miss Rita, boo, you know I love you. Thank you. You know I'm trying to make you proud on here, honey. That's one of my line dance, my hip hop line dance sisters.
All right.
Yeah. And thank you.
I love you. She always has something proud. Everybody. I love you all.
Yeah, we do.
I appreciate you. And I love you. I love your socks off. Like old folks love soft shoes.
You love my knee-high socks off?
Your whole knee-high. Your little around.
With some sandals on?
Girl. Wait a minute. I went to a service when I was at that church, still at the church, and went to support another Women's Day service. And this lady had on some clear.
Don't say the jellies.
Some of them clear heels with the silver, the clear silver. But girl, it wouldn't have been so bad. She had corn pads on every one of her toes.
Right.
So you can see through the shoe.
Jesus fixed it.
Jesus. And I thought it was a design.
You thought the corn on her toes was designed to match
corn pads. Little white corn pads on every toe. I was like, you got that bad, boy.
You bad. You bad. Toodles, Miss Hall. Thank you for moderating. Thanks to all my moderators in the chat. I've been adding moderators lately because we are growing and we are growing really fast. And so I've been adding moderators to the chat. Miss Sislo is also one of my moderators, but of course she can't moderate because she's, up here with me. But Deanna Irwin and Candace and my sissy Pooh, Deanne, and we have a lot of newer moderators in the chat. So I thank you guys for holding it down in the chat for us. And again, make sure you like and share the video and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to join our Facebook group, The Hood Table. You said stop it wrong for that. That was me. That was you them jellies, Miss Rita.
Oh, you from Piedmont Triad. You know that. Oh, you probably do know Miss Hawk.
Yeah.
Cause he's still doing there. You are.
Oh shoot. Good night,
everybody. Boo. You probably know him.
Mm-hmm. And on that note,
how you doing?
On that note, Wendy Williams, how you doing? But yes, on that note, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. And Miss Sislo, I love you, boo. And I'll be talking to you soon.
I did.
All right, take care of the grandkids.
Play that music, girl. Take us out with that beat.
Girl, you know what?
If you don't move.
Hold on, wait a minute.
See my granddaughter coming in talking about,
I'm
a savage. Something, what's happening?
Do they be doing that TikTok? Do they be doing that TikTok stuff?
Girl, I'm still learning.
I need to get me TikTok because I be seeing everybody on here doing their little TikTok and doing their little dances, and
we can do a TikTok challenge.
Oh,
everybody in here. But me.
I gotta find out how to do it first. I mean, I ain't even got the app. And then I've been asking.
Hard to get.
I asked my sons. I said, "Can we do TikTok videos and do some dances, some skits together?" They look at me like I'm crazy. I be like, "Please."
My grandkids do, but my kids ain't stuck me. My kids like,
we need some entertainment during the Rona.
Girl.
But yeah, we about to go out on our song, y'all. Hey, here we go. Matter of fact, hold on. I gotta turn the volume up. I had the volume down. And I forgot the stupid video got a commercial on it. I need to take that commercial off.
You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table. Where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation. Bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back until you sorry, try again. Yeah.
Welcome to the hood table.
You don't need cable. Yeah. Welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix. You don't need cable.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Miss Cisco.
Good night.
See you guys. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.